Hello and welcome back to a Monday night here at Heroes and Hooligans, where we are interrupting your regularly scheduled programming of Delirium to bring you our episode of House Rules, Delirium Players Chat. With me tonight, I have Riley and Drew, two of my favorite players from our Monday night Grim Hollow campaign, and I am so excited to be jumping into talking about our choices in play and play styles with you guys. We will be taking some questions from the audience. Feel free to throw those in the comments if you have any. But as it is, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into things. Riley, Drew, so happy to have you both here.
Thanks for having us. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't dress up for nothing.
Yeah. For our audience's edification, our players had this sprung on them 2 minutes ago. No, I'm sorry, 5 minutes ago.
We've had
1 minute before we went live.
Plenty of time.
But let's get started. Let's start with something simple here. What do you each think has been your key moment as a player in the main campaign so far? What is the moment that speaks to you most?
You want to go first, Riley, or you want me to go first?
You take it, man. You're the one that's all dressed up.
That's true.
I want to sit here and admire you a little longer.
That's interesting. For Arthur, it would probably be the sequence before we found our way into the Bone Trader's lair, and we ended up on our little Fey side adventure where we met Scrimmy. The sequence where we all failed some, I think, con saving throws, and we wound up in a daze, in a trance, and we were seeing things, and we were asked to describe our worst moments. And Arthur's moment had to do with his time before the Grey Wardens and a group that he belonged to that I'll keep somewhat under wraps until we get to it. But I think that was a big moment. I also think meeting the Weaver, with Arthur being Vexelkind, he's a Fey creation, so he has a lot of complicated feelings vis-a-vis the Fey and the Fey Wild. So I think that was a big moment for him. And all of just the little encounters with things from the Fae or the run-in with the Inquisition at the city. I think things that just made Arthur realize that he's not going to get to live the quiet, out-of-the-way life he was hoping for with the Grey Wardens.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, having a character realize that safety is not guaranteed in any way is a big chance for development. And it's honestly the drive of campaigns. You know, if safety was guaranteed, why would you be out adventuring?
This is true.
Oh, and we have our guest star. Hello, gentlemen.
Finished with all the sabotage, Ash?
Done tearing down my green screen, son.
He's like, no, if you let me go, I'll do it again.
I'll do it again.
I crave violence, Father.
You can do it again. But Riley, same question to you. What do you think your biggest moment, or just what moment do you think has had the most impact on your character in our main campaign?
I think in terms of just overall impact, it's probably the whole getting into the Warden situation, since, Loki's always been a free spirit, moving around, going from place to place, just like his folks did. But in terms of any moments that I've gotten to impact, I think so far it would be when we had finally gotten the Bone Trader taken care of, getting to be the voice of reason for a moment, because the context of it was the going bit of Loki being a criminal, which has been good fun. I appreciate the consistency of everyone to that bit, because we're all criminals, but. It bleeds through our natures a lot. We're not a group of heroes. We're people on a life sentence who are just doing what they're supposed to do, because what else are they going to do? And to kind of stand out and go, we can be better than the things we are and the things we have been in the past, I think is kind of what I wanted Loki to be all about as a character, because all he does is study people, but because of that, he's never been his own person. And that was one of his first moments of doing that. Yeah,
and I think we actually saw the seeds of that sort of Loki being a moral backbone for the party way back in, I think it was maybe our second or third episode when we were all discussing whether or not to flee the Wardens.
And,
Loki Absolutely. Was, while not heavily advocating for either side, still a voice of reason there, making sure that people considered their options and the impacts of choosing one or the other.
And frankly, I think that even lends itself to the Loki's a criminal bit, because I just think it adds another facet of everybody's delusion, and B, just like you said, we are all in this situation, and we are all already on a life sentence. We're already at rock bottom for some of us. So to see who we are in that situation has been fascinating to watch come out.
Yeah. And speaking of us all being criminals, let's hear a little bit about how you decided what your crime was. Let's start with Riley this time.
Yeah, I'll take it first this time. I wanted to be a bit of a juxtaposition, because I feel it's fun to do, and that's why most people do it, is to make your character like this big giant image. Fiora's a captain of the burning sea, and Scrimshaw's another pirate who's mystic and like regaining their memories. Celine has two minds in their body. Arthur's this dope ass Weshelkin. Like, everyone's got this cool bit going on, and Loki's just a guy. Like, Loki's not magic. He's not anything special. He got caught for trespassing, and now he's with the wardens. Like, I think it's funny, because it highlights how bad the Inquisition is, and where the ruling is. Yeah,
and how broken the world is too.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're ready to take this question, go ahead, Drew.
Sure. I just wanted to say also, just to go off of what Riley was saying, that is one of the simplest yet one of my all-time favorite bits of D&D is just the fantastical arch wizard, the master thief, head of a guild, the famous bard, and also Eric. And Eric's got a big ass sword. And
I was in accounting last week. I'm from Arizona. I don't know why I'm here.
Frankly, I'm furious that I'm here. As far as Arthur's criminal background, I don't want to get too into it, because
that's right. We actually
that would be the
didn't
first
have that revealed to us.
Yeah.
So let's keep that tucked away. Actually,
Arthur's a good boy. Arthur's a man of the cloth.
Yeah, he's a man of the cloth. Never been a problem. Absolutely. Just like Daruk, who's a good boy, never been a problem. He just. Well, actually, I'll go into Daruk's crime a little bit. So there are no traditional ogres in the world of Atharis. There are only ogrish. There used to be ogres, but they're all gone now, and we don't know why. Same as full-blooded orcs. They're all gone, and we don't know why. We got half-orcs running around, though.
For sure, not an ethnic cleansing.
Yeah, definitely not an ethnic cleansing. But no. So Daruk is based off of older fairy tale ogres rather than the more monstrous kind. So Daruk's being arrested for, lack of payment that he didn't realize he owed, is because he acts like a fairy tale ogre. He walks into a building, says, "I need food, I need a bed." And by sheer stature and presence alone, most people in a small village aren't going to say no. And then Daruk goes out, does a favor for people, chopping trees, as we saw in our intro, and considers that repayment in kind. As Daruk's a little bit fey himself, in behavior at least. He will repay any favor given to him, but he does not always ask what form of payment the person prefers.
Interesting. Is there a secret reason for that?
What, that Daruk does that? No, he's just dumb. And no, what it is Daruk. So Ogrish we'll do a little bit of a deep dive into Grim Hollow lore here. Ogrish are not raised by a community. They're usually dumped on the side of the road shortly after birth for someone to pick up and care for, because they look like human babies when they're born. And the reason they're dumped is because a single ogrish can eat the entire, production of a farming community over the course of a year. Having more than one in one area, not great for conservation or feeding yourself.
That makes sense. It's similar to the Wexelkin story also.
Yeah.
Because when they're replaced, they originally look like the children that they replaced for a few weeks until the glamour fades.
Yeah. Yeah. Ogres don't look like any particular child. They just are shaped like a human child. Yeah. And then they grow up, and then they no longer look human because they're 8 feet tall and 6 feet wide.
Well, speaking
Soft
of
as a downy hen.
Speaking of Daruk, I am very curious to get to the next mission. I want to dive a little bit into Daruk's backstory, see what's up with his family.
Yeah,
I find both, same with Loki as well. I find both of your characters very interesting. It's a very you guys both do a really good job of human motivations on a fantastical mold kind of thing.
Oh, thank you.
No, absolutely. And I don't know, I'm very excited to dive into the characters and kind of find out what makes them tick and why they're here and what they're scared of, all that good Grim Hollow stuff.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate with Daruk that to, role play his panic about his child, I can just think about my child and panic about that instead. Am I doing... Yeah, it's a fun place to draw from. It's, am I doing a good enough job as an adult in this child's life? Am I ever doing enough? Can you do enough? And then getting to role play the, well, you can't do enough, but you can do the best you can.
Mm.
And that's all. You can't give more than your best. Yeah, I think having that human motivation for Daruk to fall back on as well makes him a lot easier to role play for me.
And relate to, from my perspective,
absolutely.
And hopefully from the audiences as well. I think that's one of the really beautiful things about the game is you get these unbelievably relatable, hard-hitting moments and character scenes and just these, everything from a monologue to a decision that really hit hard and feel normal and human, but they're through the lens of, Skyrim, Lord of the Rings, Grim Hollow, what have you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really do appreciate your approach to taking Daruk as a character, Chip, where you don't hesitate to make your character decisions. You don't, I feel like everything that you've come up with has always come naturally. And that allowing Daruk to be a multifaceted individual from their initial jollity when we met them to the reveal to Loki that we had when we were bunkmates, before the first mission, which we just finished, which is crazy to think about. We've only been on one mission so far with how long we've been doing this already.
Yeah.
But you give us so many angles of the same person, and it's a reminder of how unique someone can be depending on the lens you look at them through. Like Drew was just talking about, that in the cave you were different, in fighting the Bone Trader you were different, before we even started you were different, and that's real. That's extremely real, to not just make him a character that's 2D and I'm a druid of the woods or I'm a paladin who's always good. It's always refreshing to see stuff like that.
Oh, I really appreciate hearing that. That's something I really try to bring forward in characters, is that everyone is going to appear different to different people, at least slightly. Both because they're being perceived, and nothing can be perceived without being changed by the eye of the beholder. And because people act differently around different people, like you were mentioning Daruk and Loki in the room that first night. It was, well, I have to pick someone to trust, and you're the one who I'm stuck in a room with. So, and you also seem like the most reasonable person.
Normal, yeah.
And then also having Daruk, guy married to a fallen angel, is going to be interested in is going to have some interest in religion, at least passing interest, which is why he's not learning from I almost called your character. He's not learning from Arthur, but he is learning about Arthur in the way he practices.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about religion at some point tonight, and might as well we can talk about it now if no one objects. But
let's just jump into it.
Oh no, not the game. I'm actually going to use this as a platform. I'm a Jehovah's Witness, and I want a quick.
Damn it!
The background changes. It's all like
Got
crosses
us.
and stuff.
Oh, Drew takes over the entire stream.
We're locked out.
You've activated the Lord's trap card. No, but I am really interested in the religiosity of this world. I mean, I went with the cleric partially just because I think it helped with the party, even though we ended up having a lot of healing anyway. And partially just because the Eldritch domain is fascinating to me. I've always loved, Lovecraft and Call of Cthulhu and all of that stuff. So I would love to, incorporate that into D&D a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think the religiosity of this world is particularly interesting because it's like, it's almost, true to life in the sense that, and, depending on what you believe, no offense meant to anybody, but deities in this world are the least present, the least active, yet religion has the most like toxic stranglehold on the community.
Well, and I think that actually that's a good way to tie it into discussion of like the way religion works in Grim Hollow versus other settings. I think the fact that the gods are dead and do not speak does lend it to being more real world-ish. In other settings, if God's not happy with what you're doing, he will tell you.
Yeah, right.
If you're
like
a cleric of Paylor and you're out there and you get turned into a vampire on purpose, he's going to let you know, hey, wrong move.
That wasn't cool. I really like that it kind of sets it apart a little more from arcane magic with that uncertainty sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It is truly, when the gods cannot be proven, then religion has to be faith-based.
Right. And when it is faith-based, the lengths people will go to and the mental gymnastics that they'll do are, I think, very interesting. And I'm trying to incorporate some of that into Arthur in a sense.
Yeah.
It's a tricky thing for me because I'm also just enjoying having fun telling jokes with you guys. And I'm trying not to just get lost in the bit. And, there are character things with Arthur that I really want to do as I level up in the Eldritch Cleric domain. I'm sure I've tried to hint at it a little bit that Arthur's book is a little more than it seems, maybe, and is maybe having some sort of an adverse effect on his brain. And
I'll say we're very lucky Kevin's not playing the rogue because he would have stolen your book.
Yeah, well, I'm sure
I'm
someone's going to look at it eventually.
I'm 100% comfortable making that call.
Well, as Arthur levels up and reads more and more of his book, it might need to get stolen for everyone's good. Who knows? But incorporating the insanity that I hope to come with the character into my religiosity, which I hope would also increase as I level up, I think is going to be a fun time.
Yeah, I think it will be very interesting to see. Now let's talk about some goals that our characters currently have. And for that, we're actually going to jump to another one of our campaigns. Let's talk about the Arcanist's Thorpe.
The coolest dudes in the
cool
Grim
kids.
Hollow. Yeah.
Yeah. Drew, we'll go with you. Does Peter have any big dreams for the future outside of taking over the shop?
Honestly, so I think the Arcanist campaign is the one that I have the least entanglement with creatively, in terms of I feel like I've had a little more time to live in the skin of, Darian and Arthur, of course. That being said, during the last episode, I found myself really connecting with the world and the village. I will die for Peter's father in a heartbeat. I'd be a fool not to. But I think one of the things that I find so endearing about it is that it's almost like a little quiet life sim. You know what I mean? Like it's a nice, peaceful, tucked away thing of all of these just pleasant, well-meaning arcanists and spellcasting adjacent people. So I think within that, Peter's goals are obviously take over the binding shop, maybe expand it a little bit. Other than that, I think he just wants to improve his own arcane knowledge. He wants to make sure that the village is running well, maybe be in a leadership position of some kind one day. And I love that in the background of that, we have Elder Orin laying waste to the neighboring village, and our team slowly discovering more and more strange, fucked up stuff right under the village. And that veil of calm is like slowly being pierced, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah. I think with Arcanus Thorpe, I kind of wanted going around the hero's journey. I kind of wanted to spend a lot more time in the call to adventure phase, where it's like, okay, we're gonna let you test yourselves a couple of times, give you a taste for adventure.
Yeah, and like enjoy all these things that you know you'll have to leave behind as a player.
Yeah, because eventually we will be leaving the Thorpe.
I genuinely don't want to. I know we have to. I'm not psyched about it though.
It might. I mean, hey, that might be, a whole nother season of Delving Beyond ahead. Who knows? Yeah. I love playing in the Thorpe. I love small enclosed areas to play in because you get to discover so much about it.
Yeah, it feels so packed, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of experience DMing, but I'm trying to learn more and just improve my improvisational skills in general. But like seeing how much you can play with a tiny setting and how much you can literally just pack it with fun stuff has been great to see. Like the little simulacrum mini village under our village. What does that mean? That seems so fucked up to me. Like I want to know more about that.
Well, I'll give you a little peek behind the screen here. I will tell you that it was not either of the elders that you've met who made it.
Okay.
It was not Orin or, God, I can't remember their name right now, Destiny's grandmother.
Yeah, no, when we were there in the session and Inteno was, doing the platforming part and you went to stay, you're like, all right, I don't want any part of this. You went to step over it. Part of me was like, that's probably safe. And the other part was like, wait, but what is it though? What the fuck is that? I got to know. What do the numbers mean, Mason?
I mean, I really wanted to dive into that moment because that was the most interesting thing that had happened thus far, because it's like, ooh, underground secret chamber, like everything was super interesting, and it's like there's a mini home just on this platform, and I'm like, huh?
Oh, okay, it's my dad.
Is that my uncle? Is that Grandpa Peter as a boy? What? But at the same time, it's like, I've in the moment, like in the context of the scene, I felt bad for not going faster because I felt like I was just like the only person doing anything for like a span of 20 minutes.
No, I mean, let's be fair. I'll spend 30 to 40 minutes talking one-on-one with a player and not realize I'm ignoring the rest of you. So you spending 20 minutes actually accomplishing something is nothing.
Yeah. Plus, like, it made sense in the scene. Like, we weren't going to send everybody to do that.
Yeah.
And I was having fun.
Yeah, I will say there were ways that you could have worked together as it was to cross non-magically and actually have made it a little bit safer. I had a couple of different routes planned out for you to take, and I was excited as soon as you said, I'm going to cast Vortex Warp. I was like, well, all of my papers are going out the window.
When we did the door to get into the lava room right before that, and we ended up going in the back door, I felt so bad for you. Like,
honestly, it really wasn't that bad. I just had to change the order in which not change the order, but I had to just take you through the rooms backwards. Lava room was supposed to be your final room.
Mm-hmm.
If you searched the air area a little more thoroughly, you would have found some potions of fire resistance.
Gotcha.
No, we just took straight lava damage.
Yeah. We deserve it. We deserve it for going that far out of our way.
One of us could have died. Straight up. Yeah. One of us straight up could have died in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I looked up lava damage and I said,
it's like 10d10.
Okay, I'm like, never mind. Scale it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 10d10. I scaled it down to 5d8.
I didn't know how much lava did, but I just ran White Plume Mountain for some friends a little while ago, and there's like a room that has boiling mud on the floor, and it does about that much damage. So I just remember being like, it's gonna suck, whatever it is.
The damage of White Plume Mountain is the same as lava.
Is the same. Yeah.
I mean, fire resistance in a magical world is not going to do that much against 1,000 degrees. Like there's a limit.
Yeah. I mean, even you had a Nephili Dippet who had fire resistance, and that's the only reason that she didn't outright die from fire. Or no, she wouldn't have outright died. She would have
passed out and need to be saved.
She would have been 4 hit points from outright death.
Damn. Wow. Well, that's fine. We don't need the buffs. We don't need your sympathy, Chip. We're gonna go through the room
stupid
backwards.
And we're proud.
The dumbest wizards.
Gur's the smartest one of us, honestly.
Yeah. That's what we need is a horde. That's Peter's goal. Peter needs a horde.
And this is when Peter finds out that his mother is actually a dragon who hoards books.
I knew it.
No, Peter, your mom died 10 years ago.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Spoilers.
I'll let you decide how.
A knight slayed a dragon.
Shoot. A knight slew a dragon.
Slew a dragon.
Okay. Your mother cannot canonically be a dragon.
No. Stop. Peter and Nintendo are related now.
Yeah.
That is, we just built the connections.
You opened Pandora's box of dragons. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Your mother cannot canonically be a dragon. I have to rewrite so much lore.
I feel like it's gonna have to be something really mundane. Like to go with the Arcanist Thorpe.
I saw Riley pick up Drake Warden Dragonborn, and I was like, I get to write dragon lore.
Okay. The Dovahkiin music just playing in the background in your mind. I don't know.
Actually, it's the music of Dragon Age Origins was playing in my head.
I've had Dragon Tales on loop in my mind whenever I play Nintendo.
That's honestly not the worst call.
Good call. Gur is very Dragon Tales coded.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, best part about Arcanist Thorpe is they always teach a lesson at the end. I love that.
There's a theme.
Yeah, well, that's what these missions are. They're little lesson teaching tests that is giving you.
It's like the Grimm brothers are writing stories before our eyes.
Yeah.
As long as the true magic doesn't end up being friendship all along. I've had
it's the friends we made along the way.
I mean, friendship is a powerful magic. It's not the most powerful magic.
Yeah.
And don't let those chronomancy wizards tell you it's theirs either. It's not.
I was just gonna say what's that Brendan Lee Mulligan quote? I forget the show it's from, but he's
it is from Fantasy High season 1.
Yeah.
The quote is, "No, weren't you listening on your first day?" I can't do an Arthur Eggfort voice. Sorry, gang.
No.
Weren't you listening on your first day of class? It's chronomancy.
Oh, I love that.
But no, the most powerful magic is graviturgy.
I want to play a graviturgist so bad. That's why I was thrilled to see a Vortex Warp on there. So I almost always end up playing a wizard in like home games and things like that. First class I ever played, fell in love. Have done very little other classes.
That's about how it goes once you've played wizard. For a lot of people, you play it and then you're like, well, this is actually 50 classes in a trench coat.
Yeah,
based on spell choice.
Yeah, and like I would die from that much damage. That I find that relatable.
Exactly. Speaking of die from that much damage, what do you think your hit points are in real life? Either of you. How many hit die do you think you have?
I think the difficulty is how hit points can be interpreted. Because I think in the world of D&D, like hit points are a mix of either like this is how much you can actually get hit. But let's be honest, if you're level 5 or level 20, getting stabbed in the chest with a sword is going to do the same amount of damage.
And like to be clear, hit points in D&D are an abstraction of like the effort it takes to dodge a swing of the sword, to take a blow.
And with that, because my dex score is probably only like 10. I think like 4 max. I think dex should be your hit modifier, not constitution. I could be sick all I want. A sword's still gonna hit me and kill me either way.
Yeah, I think if we were trying to stat out the real world, I'd probably do like half your dex mod, half your con mod to HP. Because how hale and hardy you are does have an effect when you're stabbed. Trust me.
Fair enough. I won't ask why.
I've been stabbed by angry employees 3 times.
3 times.
Different jobs too.
After the 3rd stab, you got to ask if it's you.
After the 3rd stab, you realize you got to stop working in food service where half your employees are on coke.
I don't know. You sure you weren't asking for it? How are you dressed?
Whoa, pause.
Whoa. No.
I mean, if we're using the metaphor for a literal stabbing, I think the joke is implied. But
that's fair. That's fair. But no. No, I mean, I'll get into it a little bit. No, I had to fire 2. I had to fire 2 of them, and one of them I had just put on final warning.
Goddamn. They said this is your final warning.
So you have at least like 3 hit points then. Like
I would argue that I think I have a D10 hit die.
Unkillable.
I think I have a D10 hit die. I think I have maybe a +2 con mod. I think I started with 12 hit points.
I think for me,
I have fallen off of the 4th floor of a building without breaking a bone. So
holy shit.
Weird flex, but okay.
We got to get together and just see how much you can.
How many floors can you fall off before you die?
Well, when I fell from 6, I broke my arm and dislocated.
What are you made of?
Dislocated my leg. Misformed collagen.
All right.
I bounce.
Adding that next to the children's bones pliability note.
Yeah.
No, honestly, Holy started talking about kids' bones are pliable. I was like, you want to see some pliable bones? Here, wait, let's see. Can I still do it? Yep. We can bend the bones in my forearm.
Oh. Babies bounce, and also so does Chip.
Gang. But let's get back to the discussion here.
I feel like my hit points. I feel like there's some kind of a D&D analog for this, like getting cursed and slowly recovering from it. I was sick a few years ago, so I feel like that knocked my hit points down to like 2, and I think I've slowly been gaining them back.
Took some negative levels.
Yeah, it took some negative levels, and I'm slowly getting some long rests in, leveling up here and there. I feel like I'm up to like 4 or 5 now, and I'm hoping to build on it.
Yeah. Well, be born bad, and then life makes you develop more hit points to survive.
To be good, you know?
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is I need better bones. I need better, bouncier bones.
I would argue. Well, see, the thing is, they're not better. They're just better at impact damage. I have bludgeoning resistance from my race, but I don't. That sounds better. I have vulnerability to dislocating my arms and legs on a regular basis.
Fair. All right, so I need better bones, but much better joints to go with the better bounce.
There you go.
We're moving towards cyberpunk level of sculpting.
I was gonna say 40K. I'm way too deep in that lore.
Oh God,
it's becoming a problem. Not that kind of problem. Just too much 40K.
Not a heretic.
Not the usual 40K problem.
Yeah,
but
not like that kind. No, just reading too much about cyber people.
But yeah, do either of you have any questions for me? Actually, while we're here, you can ask questions about the games. You can ask questions about characters that I've done.
Yeah,
ask questions just about playstyle, whatever you want to do.
For delving beyond, and you might not be able to disclose this, so let me know. But is there any kind of a plan to cross the 2 delving beyonds, or to cross one or both with the main story? And how would that shake out?
I'm not going to tell you outright, but what I'm going to say, but with what I'm going to say, I might as well. The Brotherhood is stationed in the Castanelan provinces, about pretty central, honestly. And about 3 days travel to the northeast through the woods, you start to hit that settlement that Riley saw up the river that
which
just
is
got
soon to be a pile of
firebombed.
ash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh boy. Oh no. Ooh.
Fucking.
We'll leave it
Let
there.
let the Delving Beyonds clash with each other, so the main campaign can do its own thing.
Yep. I will say, as of now, I do not believe there is a plan to cross Delving Beyond over with the main campaign. Hooli might choose to mention something here or there, but I don't think we'll be pulling any characters from it in.
I like it as a separate thing too, especially if we end up crossing streams with the 2 separate Delving Beyonds.
Yeah.
And it puts me in a weird position because I thoroughly enjoy both of them, and I would love Peter Crossnocht to get the drop on Darian Stelshin and outwit him and walk him into a trap because he's a fucking moron, and just prove how much better Arcanists are than like the oppressive Inquisition. And at the same time, I would enjoy just as much being Darian, squeezing the life out of Peter because he's a scrawny little bitch wizard and I'm a big, strong dragonborn.
The duality of man.
It's that right there that makes the idea of, even if not directly crossing over with each other, but like showing the impacts we make on the world, like more prevalent. Because you're right, like the firebombing of a village by the Arcanist would without a doubt pull in the Inquisition or some kind of attention, because you can't just firebomb a village, let alone one that likely aggroed an archwizard or however old Elder Smokes a lot is.
I'll let you know that Arcanus Thorpe was founded 250 years ago.
Oh wow!
And you saw that frieze of Elder Orin being there and already being like, not as old as he is, not as old looking as he is now, but an older man, probably 40s or 50s, you'd guess, based on the carving. Mm-hmm. So he's up there. He doesn't actually, I think. No, yeah, he outdates the Inquisition.
Wow.
Well, the formal, like, multinational Inquisition.
If we lose everything because he was just like, you know what? Nah. Then I'm going to lose a lot of respect for Elder Orim. Someone's going to come to that ruin and be like, well, the literal only thing that could have done this was very powerful magic.
Or a dragon.
Or a dragon. That's a good point.
Yeah. We'll have to see what you guys find.
Gur's going to have to take the fall.
Gur's going to be a grown dragon by the time that the brothers or the wardens get to him.
Yeah, we'll have to see what you guys find out when you investigate the bombed settlement.
Can't wait. Trying to think of other questions I have.
I got one to talk to Chip about, because Chip and I have not coordinated at all, like on Arcanists, with how things are developing.
I haven't coordinated with anybody on Arcanists. I just go.
I figured, but I wanted to clarify it, because like I was going to like start working towards being like, oh, there are more dragons out there, specifically because of how I want to play out the Drake Warden stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm super curious about, like, with the existence of dragons, being brought up in Arcanists, do we think that, like, do you think we're going to start bleeding that into, the others, since, dragons aren't exactly a thing you can ignore as people playing magic?
Definitely be bleeding that into other Delving Beyonds. I don't know if it'll be popping up in Brotherhood specifically. I don't know if it'll be popping up in the main campaign, but there'll definitely be some dragon. There'll definitely be at least one dragon hunting episode.
Arthur's going to pick up a newspaper and the headline's going to be "Dragons, huge problem elsewhere."
Gur, Slayer of Man.
all shall love and despair.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about where we see the future going for the Brotherhood. I know Darian is a pretty hardcore believer, like a true believer for sure.
Yeah.
And honestly seems to find a lot of joy in his work.
Yeah. I think Darian is modeled after everybody I knew in church growing up who took a real pleasure in being more churchy than the next person, kind of thing. and just like the way I imagine those people interact. But yeah, he's like a churchy Karen, but also a jacked dragonborn in armor, just the worst kind.
If Karen had material power.
Yeah. If Karen was 6'9".
I've run into some pretty massive Karens. I don't know about 6'9", but I've run into some that are big, that are both taller and bigger than me, just in general. Like, I was like,
they're out there.
I can't send you to the manager because I'm the manager. Fuck.
Someone needs to make a Pokédex for them. As far as Arthur's future, I mean, like you said, he's a hardliner. I think that I'm going to have a lot of fun just being a little more, a little more of an extremist. And I think that Darian not Arthur, Darian. I think Darian is a simple creature. And I think he's focused right now on the immediate next thing, which is he's told that there's some sketchy stuff going on in the circle. There's likely a mustache twirling sorcerer at the top of the chain, behind, pulling some strings, sucking down adrenochrome, and he's going to go turn him into a paste.
Hell yeah! Hey, paste is a good state to leave a bad sorcerer in, right? Yeah. You can't do somatic components if you're paste. You also can't do them if your arms are tied behind your back with a toy train stuffed in your mouth. So
true. It turns out there's a lot that can get in the way of that kind of thing. And Riley, I'm forgetting your character's name in Brotherhood.
Kane.
Kane, yeah. Do you see yourself? Where does Kane stand vis-a-vis like how much of a believer he is?
I mean, I haven't really thought about it, if I'm going to be completely honest. Kane, I made Kane because it's like, hey, we're going to be the Inquisition, and because of my perspective of the Inquisition from Wardens, it's like, okay, these guys are like at best frat bros who are just doing bad things because that's what they're told they're doing, to genuinely evil people,
to fascists,
you know, and that's. I don't know where I want to play it because I don't know how I want like the group is going to go and how I want the group to go. Because like we could have all three of our characters for delving and main campaign. All of them can be labeled like neutral good, lawful good, because it's a matter of perspective for them. Yeah, like we're on the right side for the Inquisitions. You know, we're Kane, the guy I named after the first murderer in Christian theology. He's right because to kill people who are magic.
Hey, that's Jewish theology. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I don't need to hear about this fan fiction.
Well, one of the big books.
Well, that's one of the ones I haven't really gotten familiar with.
That's one of the cool things I think about the setting is, in any other world, these people would be absolute monsters.
Irredeemably evil, yeah.
Meanwhile, people are buying us drinks and wanting to hear war stories. Yeah, and I love that.
And I think one of the things that we sort of started to touch on when you were coming back into town is that to honestly the vast majority of people, the Inquisition are heroes.
Right.
And even to a lot of mages, a lot of mages who don't have control over their powers when they're young, go to circles, or they, someone can't afford to care for their child anymore and their child is showing signs of magic. So it's, well, in the circle, you'll be fed, you'll have a roof over your head, you'll be able to learn, and you'll be legal.
And the Inquisition's been successful and in charge and pumping out their own propaganda for however long it's been.
I think about 100 years internationally and about a little over 250 locally.
Okay. Oh, so around the time Arcanus Thorpe was founded.
About 30 years before that would have been the founding of the Castanellan Inquisition.
Interesting. But I think that's just, I don't know, it's an interesting thing about it. It's part of why I like playing that game so much. And like I said, I'm getting into 40K and I just enjoy the juxtaposition of like, these people are clearly the villains and like you should not identify with them. Yet look at all of the human, fun, relatable moments. Like
Yeah.
You hopefully, like, I want people to be rooting for us when we're on a mission. You know what I mean? I want them to be likable, despite the fact that, like, Darian is an insufferable douche.
Yeah.
And yeah, I find that very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you both do a very good job of playing characters who ride that line of still entertaining to watch, and you're like rooting for them, even though you know you shouldn't be. Uh, especially with Darian.
Oh
I
yeah,
appreciate it.
Drew, you knock it out the park. Why my funniest moment, my favorite funniest moment we've ever had was when we were being the brothers and fighting, and you said, "Turn off your body cam, brother." That was the funniest fucking thing you could have said in the moment, because we were just slaughtering people. Like it wasn't a fight. We were just being horrible people, and we found this like camaraderie of like, brother, we stand in arms, brother. The Emperor protects, and that I appreciate your like that those bits you find so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. No, then the same to you too. You say stuff that catches me off guard and absolutely kills me. Both of you do. That's one of my favorite parts about playing with this group is I think there's a lot of talented improvisers, and I appreciate that personally because I'm trying to improve with that. So working with you guys has been fantastic, but also just the little quips people throw in absolutely slay me, and that's literally what I played the game for. Moments like those.
Glad to provide that since that's why you play.
Yeah.
And then we're getting close to our hour here. We're probably going to go for about another 10 minutes. So let's go ahead. I got a couple more questions here. We're just going to rapid fire a few, and then I have one final question for the both of you. Riley.
Go.
What do you think is the worst thing that has ever happened to Inteno?
I mean, probably being isolated. We obviously need to hammer out the lore of like Dragonborn in the world of Tharis, but going off of D&D player's handbook description, like Dragonborns are clans. They're clan folk. They have people they're meant to be with their whole life, similar to the Thorpe, which makes me think that like it's either having lost his parents, because like it's clearly a thing he can acknowledge safely, having an uncle and talking about the family tree in the latest episode, but that's got to be it, because like so far nothing bad has happened since he's been in the Thorpe outside of not having a family outside of Gert anymore.
Yeah, and I think I can give you a quick little 1-minute summary of what Dragonborn are like in Atharis here. So in Atharis, Dragonborn had the traditional clan system for a long time. They built their own city, their own little mini country. Something horrible happened. Histories differ on what something horrible was. And then the Castanelan provinces, under the new rulership of the Empyrean faith, came in, restored the city, said, "Hey, look, we made this for you. Come be our faithful." And the Dragonborn pretty much jumped on it. They were like, "Oh yes, wow, this miracle fixed our homeland. Well, we have to be believers now." And I'd say probably about 80% of Dragonborn are maybe not to the same degree as Darien, but have a similar level of faith in the Empyrean religion.
Interesting.
The other 20% vary. There's no real core there.
Yeah.
There's no core opposition to the majority. Drew, what made you decide to play such a creepy little dude in the main campaign?
Well, I knew that we needed a cleric, and then I was looking through the Grim Hollow specific subclasses, saw the Eldritch Domain, thought that would be super fun. And I was just thinking, I'm playing a Grim Hollow specific subclass. Maybe I'll see what the Grim Hollow specific races are. And I saw a creepy little puppet boy, and I'm like, a creepy little puppet boy who is going to slowly lose his mind and tap into all of these dark powers is fantastic. Plus, I just had this idea of just a running bit in my head of like, which actually kind of ended up coming true with Arthur's interactions with some of the characters, which was being treated like a child when you're like a 41-year-old man. I forget how old he is. He's in like his late 30s, early 40s, something like that.
Yeah.
But, just like, nope, excuse me. Don't pick me up. Nope. Thank you. Put me down. I was looking forward to something like that. And also, frankly, there's a high level power in the subclass, like a level 17 ability or something called Sing the Song That Ends the World.
Yes.
I haven't really read what it does. I just read that, and I'm just picturing his little puppet jaw unhinging and just eldritch babble coming out.
Just
Yeah, literally like a music box kind of thing. Yeah, literally. But like the tinny like 1930s record player.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It just seemed to really fit and fit I'd say fit the setting, but of course it does. But yeah, it just seemed like it would be a lot of fun to play. Plus
Yeah.
the whole thing with the Vexelkind and they replaced a child who may or may not be lost in the Feywild now. I think. Yeah. Well, I think that gives Arthur some.
They might have been eaten, or the original Arthur might have just gotten eaten instead of being taken.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Well, Arthur is going to hopefully find out at some point. But yeah.
All right. And with that, I've got one last question for you guys for the night. You happy?
Who's really happy, you know? Well, here, I got the last one. You want to take it first, Riley?
I'll let you take the turn. We've reverse. Uno reverse. You go.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy. This has been a lot of fun. I'm thrilled I was able to find a weeknight game. I just started a new job that's been consuming my life. I came straight from a work event to be here. I love the job, but it's been a lot.
You're telling me you didn't get all dressed up just to see me?
No, but I'm happy I was. But yeah, this has been fantastic, and I really enjoy everybody in the group. I like the little character moments we have. I love the jokes and the flow of things. I think it's going to make me a better player in DM and hopefully an improviser. And then I'm going to get launched into stardom, leave you all behind, never speak to any of you again. I'll be sipping cocktails with Matt Mercer on a private yacht somewhere. He's got a private yacht, right?
I think the closest Matt Mercer comes to a private yacht is when he did the D3 cruise a couple of years ago.
Fair. No, all that big time's too much for me anyway. But I am really enjoying this crew and the games.
Hey, just remember, when you hit the big time, don't forget about the poor people that got you there.
True. This is very true. And when I'm still poor in 30 years, I'll think about it warmly.
Hey, there you go. Riley, are you happy?
I mean, I don't think I can
with
say
with
no.
the game. I'm not going to dig into it. Not going to dig into real life.
Yeah.
You happy with the way things are going in the game?
Oh, I get to play pretend with a bunch of people who were strangers that are now good friends. And through a collection of throwing dice at a wall and laughing at the reactions, I get to enjoy a good time every Monday night now, and I am happy in life too because I got a lot of stuff to smile about, and
It's a cat.
like it's better to, even if there are tough things, which I'm gonna get on a motivational soapbox and elevate I'm gonna rise into center screen. No,
No, do it.
Get the outro playing. Get the outro.
There you go.
Okay, all right, folks. I'm gonna leave you with this. We live this life one time and one time only. And one of my favorite quotes of all time: "It is better to live life and laugh at it than to lament it." Thank you.
I like that a lot.
You're welcome.
All right, this has been House Rules Delirium Players Chat with Riley and Drew. Been so happy to have the two of you, and I'm so happy to be playing with you guys and we've lost Riley.
He's transcended.
He left us with those words of wisdom and ascended.
Well, thank you so much
thanks
for having us. It's been a blast.
Yeah.
Pleasure
Thanks for
to be here as always.
And thank you, viewers, for joining us. If you're watching the VOD, sorry that you didn't get to catch us live and ask us questions. If you're watching us live, why didn't you ask me questions? You're a horrible person, and I'm blaming you for everything. No, not really. Thanks for watching. And we will catch you this Thursday night for Gilded Destinies, our Eberron campaign. This Friday night for Concentricity Echoes of Eden, our Star Wars 5e campaign set in a homebrew world. And next Monday for some actual play in Delirium.
Hell yeah. See you then.
Morale guide you.
was a good time.